Welcome! In this video, I head into Southcentral Alaska's wilderness to search for wild mushrooms, nature's hidden treasure. We'll harvest boletes and puffballs and provide education on porcini or king boletes, my favorite mushroom, the morel, and other delicious wild mushroom finds. Keep watching to the end to see about hunting with a blacklight. Mushroom foraging is a mix of caution, adventure, discovery, disappointment, and a little bit of fortune. Be sure to rinse all wild edibles with a wash of fruit and vegetable wash and cook all wild mushrooms thoroughly. I've been hunting mushrooms for over 10 years now, and today I wanted to take you along so that we can search for one of the most common mushrooms in this region, and that is the birch bolete. So let me get a couple here and I can show you exactly what they look like. So this is a birch bolete. As you can see, it's got a brown cap, and you'll be walking through the woods, and sometimes you'll only see this brown part through the moss. And as you can see, it also has a white stem, but looking under the cap, we're looking for a sponge-like surface like this. If it has gills on it, nope, we don't want those. We definitely only want the spongy ones like this. And a pro tip is when you're out hunting for them, what you want to do is kind of pop them open and see how the bugs are doing in there. Sometimes I'll take this part home because I'm looking for flavor. I do want them to be edible, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be in a magazine or anything. So I will eat this white part and then kind of throw away the more striated parts here that are brown. But this one's pretty good. It looks like it does have a little bit of discoloration of brown or green that you don't want to eat. When they get too spongy, you definitely don't want them. This one is pretty good. So like I said again, just eat the white part if it's a little bit too brown like this. But I do have some other smaller ones, so let's pop those open and see what they look like. Generally, I found whenever they're about this size, whenever you are out walking in the woods, if you find them, they'll kind of have the more yellowish, whitish color on the bottom, and then of course the brown top. They go bad pretty fast, so I just kind of put these back in the woods if you find you don't want to eat them. Let's look at a couple of these other ones here. Yeah, they all have a little bit of bug eatiness in them. It is that time of year. I just want to leave these to the bugs. Sometimes when you pick them up though, it'll be all brown under here, really squishy and gross. These ones aren't too bad. You just gotta kind of open them up and see what they are looking like. Yeah, don't want to eat these. Here's a real baby, tiny little one. Even yeah, they go bad pretty fast. Sometimes you have to find them like the day they pop up or so, because they'll be all white under there, and they look like a store-bought mushroom really in a lot of ways when they're not past their prime, that is. So I learned about these local mushrooms in the area by going with locals that harvest mushrooms. They teach you what to look for and where to look under the birch trees. A lot of times these birch boletes are in the moss, and when you pick them, you kind of pick them from the root, wiggle it around, and pull them straight up, and they will have some moss attached to the bottom of them. When you take them home, if you find one, okay, yeah, this is going to be a good edible one, you just cut off the bottom, kind of slice through parts like this, just slice them up. This one looks pretty good. This one, not so much. So let's pop them open and see what they look like here. Yeah, see the white? That part is all nice, good, edible. Personally, I just wouldn't eat the brown part, this black part here, down here. But this one would be something you could eat. Let's take a look at this. I like this one, has a fatter base, and it feels really nice and solid and firm. Take a look. Oh, nope. Even though it's got that solid firm, it's got lots of bugs in it. Ugh, gross. So, we're going to keep going. We're going to search for more and see what other ones we can go and put in the cooking pot for tonight. Dark brown this is supposed to be like white.
Yeah. There you go. And then when you open
oh, actually, it's a birch bolete.
Okay.
This one is?
Okay.
Yeah, because it has this brown on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so a king won't have that.
Okay, this one is actually pretty fun.
Oh, it is. Lots of fun things to do with these, but you do want to cook them the same day because they tend to get discolored pretty fast. Now you know a little bit about the birch boletes. Let's go see if we can find some more today. But before we go, one little quick little one-liner joke here for you. Mushroom hunting, the only sport where squatting in silence is considered perfect form. I'm headed to a trail on the Kenai Wildlife Refuge. I've had some success getting mushrooms there in the years past. Actually, a few years back, the Wildlife Refuge warned not to go down it because there was a dead bear that another bear was feeding on. So I do have a little bit of leeriness. I'll definitely be bringing my bear spray. I don't have my gun with me this time, but bear spray will be fine. And let's see how we do with hunting for some mushrooms today. Here on the Kenai Wildlife Refuge, harvesting mushrooms is allowed if for personal use only, not for commercial resale. You'll want to find out in your local area or ask the landowner for permission to harvest on their land. Alright, so I came down a little bear trail. There was some bear scat on it, but it looked like there was some good mushrooms down here, so let's see what we got here. This is going to be a gilled one, and I do not harvest gilled ones myself because I don't want to do a spore print to try to find out if it's edible or not. And even if they are edible, a lot of them are just not choice edible, meaning they taste like water or they taste like dirt and you just don't want to eat them. But what is this nice little thing? I don't think it's a bolete. It's going to have gills too. But you know, that's a pretty mushroom. I wish I knew what it was. It looks like it would taste good. I'm just not willing to try it. This might be a bolete. Nope. It's got gills too. When they're under there like that, sometimes the shape of them, they look like boletes. But see, it's got the gills. So I'm not going to harvest it. Let's see what else we got. This is going to be the same kind. And these are just the fruiting bodies of what the mycelia is doing all under the ground. I want to be a little careful over here because I am seeing monk's hood. See, right here is some monk's hood. Purple. But careful what I touch in here. I'm not nervous about touching the mushrooms, not in this area of Alaska. But I am nervous about touching monk's hood. Look how cute those are. Cute little mushrooms, 2 different kinds. Got some yarrow and fireweed around them. Alright, let's keep going here and see what else we can find. And it's starting to drizzle. A little bit of rain is starting. Keep looking. Alright, let's see what we got over here. This does look like the base of a birch bolete. The top of the birch bolete was already eaten off. I believe that's what that was. What are these cute little purple mushrooms? Interesting looking. You know, I have seen these in my research. Look how pretty that is. I don't remember the name of them. If you happen to know, you're watching this video and you know what this is, please let me know. It does seem very familiar to me. And it sure is beautiful. A lot of these mushrooms create different colored dyes that people use in dyeing yarn and cloth. I bet that would make a really pretty purple. Pretty cool. So pretty. Can't stop looking at it. Alright. What else do we got around here? I really want some birch boletes. Really, king boletes would be the best, but I'm not seeing any right now. It's nice to know that there's plenty of mushrooms out right now, though. Alright, it looks like we may have found some birch boletes. They are a little bit eaten up by squirrels. This is a good sign that it's an edible mushroom. But these ones do also have worms in them. Usually when they're like this. So that one looks pretty good. Come on, focus. Let's see what's going on here. Got lots of worms. You can tell it's the birch bolete by having this brown on it. I like these little bear trails. You can tell they're bear trails because the way that the underbrush is more pushed over closer to the size of a bear versus the size of a moose. Coming through here would be where the bear size is. If a moose was coming through, it would be more so up here. Okay, here's another one over here. Oh, a few of them. And they're past their prime, so we definitely don't want to try to eat them. But there's a good one. Well, not a good one. We're not going to eat them, but nice to see them. Let's look at it. Yep, very much past. Cannot eat any of it. But let's look at this one. Yep, don't want to eat that. Not even touching that one. I don't see any more. What do we got over here? Not boletes. Again, these are not boletes. We're looking for boletes, king boletes, birch boletes, or puffballs, because it is coming up on autumn, and morels are they've already left. They were more like June. Alright, so I think that I found a nice little bolete here. It's the right size for it to still probably be white underneath. So let's pick it and take a look. Looking good so far. Oh, that's a good edible one. So the worms haven't gotten to it yet. I'll take it home and clean off the bottom here. But it's going to be more white here. That's going to be a nice one to saute up. Hello, yummy little birch bolete. Let's see if there's any more around here. See what else we can find. Another one of them purple ones. I need some more like you. Mushrooms are a food genre of their own. They're not meat, they are a type of fungus, belonging to their own scientific kingdom separate from animals and plants. They're often used as a meat alternative in vegetarian and vegan dishes due to their hearty texture and savory umami flavor. That's Japanese for delicious taste or savory taste. Their biological classification is non-animal, but are biologically closer to animal than vegetable. How cool is that? Yes, found some good puffballs. A good puffball is solid white all the way through. They are kind of greenish and gooey when they're on their way out, and they puff a green cloud of spores when they're completely gone, and they're more a brownish color by that point. If you find what you think is a puffball and it's real solid and hard and kind of has ridges on it, this is most likely a baby amanita and not a puffball. Do not harvest that. These white puffballs are the only ones that I 100% eat raw. I put them on salads, or sometimes I just munch on them when I'm hiking. Really, half the time they don't make it home with me. They're really good. Well, I'm going to call it a day. I've got a nice little harvest of puffball mushrooms, maybe about 10 or 12 of them. And I do like to eat those raw, put them in my salads, or just dip them in ranch, or just munch on them as they are. The bolete mushroom, I will probably saute that up with some, I don't know, maybe some chicken, steak, something like that tonight. They're not something that lasts even a day, so I like to eat them the same day that I harvest them. And let's get out of here because the rain is starting and there's a lot of bugs. Porcini, or here in Alaska called king bolete, are top choice eating. They have the sponge-like texture under the cap known to the bolete class of mushrooms. Compared to the birch bolete, they have a more solid texture and firmness, and they also have a lighter color. They last longer against beetle attack and can also therefore last longer once you bring them home. The cap tends to be larger and the base does not have the brown hair-like texture of the birch boletes. These are less prolific in this area of Alaska than the birch bolete and are a true find when you get them. Morels blend in to look like pine cones. As in all forms of hunting, you want to train your eye to spot them. Here in Alaska, the black morel are most readily available in the spring, the year after a wildfire. At other times, you may find a few of them along roadsides or by campfire pits. Morels are brown or tan, and not to be confused with false morels, which are an orangish color, are more roundish squat, and are not hollow inside like a true morel is. My favorite is to rinse them, cut in half lengthwise, and then dry them on cheesecloth. Then I can reconstitute them all year long to be added to soup, pasta sauce, omelets, or to saute them. Chaga looks burnt on birch trees. When you dock it down, it is a dry reddish on the inside. To make an herbal tea, just cut it into chunks and brew in hot water. Personally, I like to powder it or buy it locally powdered and add to my coffee grounds to brew with my coffee. For me, personally, it enhances the flavor of my coffee. Warning: the mushroom genus Amanitas can kill children, and in large quantities an adult. They can have psychotropic effects if prepared in a certain way. Do not consume, it's not worth the risk. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed hunting for the choice edible mushrooms of birch bolete and puffballs, and learning about various other mushrooms with me. Stay tuned for an upcoming video on harvesting wild Alaskan plants.